let's go and see some another example. Now let's see that there's let's first go and let me open this file. Example number 2 we are doing now. Let me now first of all show you the data, what exactly how the data is. So we're going to import these two tables. Okay, state details, dimension table, state sales, fact table. I'm deliberately using here two words, dimension and fact. Okay, because this is something you listen to these, you hear these words a lot. First of all, let's just go here, get the data now. So you have employees quantity. Oh, sorry, I think I have imported the wrong. No, it's the right one. Okay, yeah. So this is the table, employee ID. Wait a second. Yeah, so this is the wrong folder. So I'm going to import this. State details. What do we have here? So this is a state table. So we see here, state-wise, we have some states, for example, there's cities, number of cities, and PIN number. Very simple data, isn't it? Okay. Then you have another table. And this is called the fact table. So this is my table where we have state-wise on which date order has come. And when we had this shipped order, the order number, the sales. So what is basically the revenue, selling price, and the quantity. How many quantities we have shipped. So 6 multiplied by 96 will give us the total, basically the revenue. Okay, anyways, this is just I'm making you familiar with the data. So we have these two dates. Okay, and I go in the model, this data modeling view, and now you see automatically Power Query has created this time a relationship which is actually 1 to many. Why it says 1 to many? And how do you know that relationship is created on which field? Because there has to be some field, not all the fields, right? Single field. So when you hover here, you will see, right? It's actually state to state. Obviously, it has to be a common field. Like in VLOOKUP, it happens. Now here, the state is repeating, but here, the state is not repeating. That's why the Power BI says this is actually a 1 to many relationship. So the data filters from here. This is the direction from this to this. Okay, you can also collapse these options just in case if you have multiple tables and you want a bit of space, can expand or collapse from here also. And you can increase the height and the width from this table also in case if you want. Okay, if I double click on this, I can see this is how the relationship is created. 1 to many or many to one, both are same. Both are same, right? So basically 1 to many is this and many to one is this, right? But they are same. Now I'm going to completely delete this because we should start from the scratch, isn't it? Let's say I do not want this. Okay, first go in your data. Now you see here every state, because this is a data where actually we are dealing with the day-to-day sales. So it's very obvious the state will be repeated here, isn't it? So every state has the date on date orders, the shipping date is there, the sales is there, quantity as a set view, right? Now this is actually the data which we call it as transactional data, where the transactions are happening on the regular basis. And this is the data which actually you have been always provided with, isn't it? This is not a static data. Every day you come here, you keep on entering the details. Or maybe even if the server, some software is capturing the details, right? Like in case you are working in a telecom sector, IVR, through IVR one-to-one, calls get routed and all that. So there nobody's sitting to enter the details manually. It automatically happens, right? They have their IP, the IP captures all that. Which person has called, what was the duration, all that, right? But again, a person can call on IVR 10 times, isn't it? So that mobile number will be repeated. So these are all called the transactional data. Transactional data is basically which actually gives us the headers where we go and apply the aggregations like sum, count, average, min, max, whatever. They give us the quantitative analysis. right? On the other side, there's another table which we have created, which is simply actually telling us that, look, these are the states, and these are the states, and these are the cities. And you can have more fields also here. These are all called the non-transactional fields. And this is called the dimension table. So in data modeling, you hear two terms, transactional data and dimension table. Dimension table, transactional table, right? So, and this transactional table is also called the fact table. Generally, people call it as a fact table. Remember this point. Okay. Now, a fact table contains the measurements and the matrices of a business process, while a dimension table provides the descriptive information for the related field. It means a dimension table will not give you any sort of the business performances matrices, like how many sales happened, what was the business revenue. They won't tell you all that. They will give you only the static things. They will give you only the information. Like, this business has, who is the manager, who is the CEO, or maybe when this business has started, how many branches do we have? Are you getting the point? So this is how basically when you go and design when you work in the BI or in the database, and when people are giving you the information, look, we have all the information, but it is all scattered. You got to convert that into two different tables. One is, as I said, transactional, the fact table, and the other one is the dimensional table, right? Because this always helps us in actually doing the calculations in the easy way, faster also. It keeps the calculation faster also, because when the query runs in the background, when you have these relationships like one to many, then other than the many to many, the query runs faster. It gives you the better speed also, and this helps you in also making sure that you don't have the redundancy in your data, the duplicacy in your data. For example, now this is a very deep level concept, as I said, that we not discuss that, but what I'm trying to say. For example, you can argue with me that sir, why do we need this table? You see, we have the city here, we have the pin here, we have the number of cities, right? So why can't I put all that in one table? I can put everything here also, right? But you need to understand that there are some rules that we follow. As I said, first normal form, second normal form, third normal form. If you Google it, you will find very interesting. They tell you what in the first normal form, how you need to keep the data, what is the second normal form. So they all tell you actually how to split the data, how to avoid the duplicacy. Now see, if I just have all these headers, no doubt I can include that all these three headers over here. There can be many other headers also. Unnecessarily, you're creating a duplicacy in your data, isn't it? Because then if this data has 50,000 rows, you're going to actually use the 50,000, there's the new records just to show the PIN number, and then 50,000 for just to show that this state has which city. I mean, where you have that business in that state, isn't it? Right? Now, for you, it may not look like a big deal, but when we are talking about the big data, these things are very important. So by just keeping the simple one table, we are avoiding all those 50,000 entries for each of the column. This is a big thing in data industry. All those people who are the DBS, database administrators, right? You must be knowing in your company there's a team of people you may not have ever interacted, but they do all those installations on your systems, right? Because from server to desktop, how the data will flow. So those people are highly paid people, and they do all these things. They are very much proficient in all these things, how to design the data, how to make sure that avoid the redundancy in the data, the duplicacy in the data. Okay, so these are all the things you got to go and study. Okay, on these things, as I said, first normal form, second normal form. So one should not argue that, why can't I keep all the information in one table? Because understand, if we're just discussing about city, number of city, you may have 20, 25 headers as well. Some people I have seen on the internet, I was shocked to see that they had some problems in the BI, and they have posted the questions, on the forums, and they mentioned that they're working with 100 tables in one BI. Can you imagine? Right? So that's why it's always, we need to figure out the ways where we can remove all these duplicacies, right? So by just keeping this one table, we really, really can save a lot of space. About the transactional data, like these headers, sales, quantity, this is something which comes every day. So you can't do anything about it. Okay. So now let's come back here and let's see now. Let's create again the two tables. So I'm going to show you now in the same way. So first we have, let's say I use this dimension table. So now you understand what is the dimension table, right? Which just tells you what the information, the fields of your business, right? They will not give you any transactional, the business, the matrices on which actually you will go and actually eventually when you do the calculations, you will know how you're performing. Okay. So this data is going to be maintained only once. Once you have created this table, you will not go and day to day update this unless there are some changes, right? But this data is something which we are creating on daily basis on server, or you're doing this manually also. Like some people work on the Google Sheet, if you know, in some companies, because they have this privilege that 10 people can work on one Google Sheet at the same time, because Google Sheet is not a product which you can install. It's directly on the cloud. You have a Gmail, you can start, right? So day on day, they keep entering the different the transactions. So that is called the transactional table. Like for example, employee database, where you have the employee ID, you have its date of joining, you have its date of resignation, you have its secondment of due date, how many number of leaves, the cab available, facility, yes or no. That is called the dimensional data. Once it is created, it is not going to expand the way this table expands. Okay, so your data modeling always revolves around these two tables: fact table, and dimension table. Okay, so first of all, let me keep the state name here. Let me keep the city here, and let's say the number of cities and the PIN number. Okay, fine. So this is your table, correct? Okay. Then let's copy this table. Let's remove everything. Now I'm going to use another table. I'm creating this so that we can refer to this easily, right? So now we have shape data as well. So let's say I just need this, for example, this one only. Or maybe for now, I'd say I don't need this. I want the sales and I want the quantity. Right? So this is how it is, right? Now what will happen? What will happen, guys, if we create a visual, let's say table visual, we will understand this. Let's say I say that, first of all, there's no relationship here. Remember that, right? So the same problem should come, isn't it? Now you say that I want to pick the state name here. I want to use this state name from the dimension table, let's say. And now you say, I want to know the city. And at the same time, I want to see the sales. Are you able to see the sales? You're not able to see the sales. Right? You're not able to see the sales. Okay. Interesting. If you want to change the state, you want to put the states from this table, same problem will come. See, sales is there because right now this is a state we are using in the sales from the same table. I want to see actually that, this state has the city or the number of cities it has. The moment I put it, this is what you get. This is what you get. I mean, you're getting here, right? So what we have to do is we have to go and tell BI that, look, this is the state, this is the state. So let's just go and drag this and match the field, drop this right over that field. So you see it has created a one-to-many, right? If you're going to drag from the second table to the first table, this can create a many-to-one relationship also, which means the same way, one-to-many or many-to-one. It's one and the same thing. Okay. So we have here relationship which is created on this. Now here you can see that it actually has two options. In one-to-one, if you remember, there was only one, which is both, which means you can filter the data, you can cross-filter the data from both the directions, right? Now it is always advised to keep the cross-filtering in the single direction. Okay, let's see that. Basically, the point is, if I put the both means that I can filter the data. I can use this here, the state, this also. I mean, in that way. Okay, so basically, cross-filtering direction both is always very costly when it comes to the processing time of the calculations. So it's always preferred. It should always be single. Okay, so this is right now not important, but one-to-many is a relationship that we are going to create. So once you have this one-to-many relationship, see that, right? I can hover here and I can see the relationship is created, right? And if Power BI does not find any relationship, obviously it will not create, and it will tell you that there is something wrong. I find. Okay. I mean, let's say if you don't have a state and you're trying to drag and drop something here because of your, let's say, the poor understanding of the data, Power BI will throw the error. Let's go back here, and now you see that I have been able to generate my these, the sales and the cities. Both the information is coming. Both the information is coming. If I select this table, see this city and the state name is here, and then the sales is here. You can obviously drag and drop other fields also. Now, if you go here, see, we have the state here, and we have the sales here, and we have the city. This is how it is. And let me put the city here, like this. So we have the information it needs. We got the information, right? We got the information here. So I will obviously prefer one. So I'm just going to delete this. So here I have all the information. If I want more number of cities, I also want to see how many branches I have or whatever, at the quarterly, you see, you have all the information because of one-to-many relationship. Okay. Now, if let's say, so what we're going to do is, so for example, let's say that what I'm going to do, so let's say I put the number of, not the number of actually, let's say I'll put the city here. Okay, I'll put the city here and I change this to slicer, for example. Just an example, right? Just an example. Let me select the city one here. You see that? It's working. Right? And if I create the table again, I should have not deleted that table. So let's say this time the state is not coming from here. So I'm going to put the state here. Let's just remove this. And let's say I just need this information here. Let me click on the city one. See this, right? So in one-to-many relationship, which is also considered as many-to-one, in a way, because it's just the opposite way. You can slice and dice the data in both the directions. I mean, when you select the city from here, it is going to do this cross filtering in both the tables. Here, state coming from this table, and here, the state is coming from a different table. But when you select the city, this works same. See, every field is also changing. So one-to-many relationship is the one you will. So when I say one-to-many, by default, assume it's applicable same for the many-to-one. You will find people always preferring the one-to-many relationship. Always one-to-many relationship. They don't want you to work on a data modeling or on a project where you have many-to-many relationships. One-to-one is already, as I said, that it's very rare to find, right? But if it is there, all is well. But generally, the problem comes when you have in both the tables multiple fields, and that is what we are going to discuss. Okay, so one-to-many is the relationship that we should always strive for. If it is one-to-one, fine. If it is many-to-many, we have to make sure it should not be many-to-many. If it is possible, we should go and change that relationship by bringing some more tables from outside to convert that many-to-many into one-to-many. Why? Why is it that? Okay, why is that? Because if many-to-many is there, obviously there must be some reason for that, right? Then why people say that many-to-many should always be avoided? Go on the internet, read about the relationship. You'll always find all people, teachers, they tell you about this. Many-to-many is not good. So what is a many-to-many, by the way? Okay, so let's go and see that. So in this case, we have not done actually really anything special, right? Because this is all happens on the auto detect and everything is good. One-to-many you have seen, right? One-to-many relationship you have seen. So let me close this. Let's save this file. So if you don't have a relationship, you will not get the information from the different tables.